This is the second problem. We have to draw the isometric projections of a horizontal cylinder of base diameter 50 mm and axis length 60 mm. So we will see the orthographic views. Again, there is no need to draw these views because the dimensions that we need to draw the isometric projections are already known to us. We need to know the diameter and the axis length. But however, for completeness of this, we will draw the orthographic views. This is the front view. The front view is a circle, and the top view is a rectangle as shown here. So you will see that this length is 60 and the diameter is 50. So this length here, it has to be 50 millimeters. So again, to start with, we will draw a horizontal line, and we will draw one line at 30 degrees and this line at 30 degrees as usual. Okay. So here you will notice that the cylinder is so placed that we need to draw a circle in one of such planes here. So there is absolutely no change in the procedure. That is, we are going to utilize the 4 center method to draw the circle. We are going to utilize the 4 center method to draw this circle here. But for that, we have to first draw this square. And the dimensions of this square are 50 multiplied by 0.81649. So each of these lines, so we have to take this point, measure 50 into 0.81649 and mark this particular arc. That is, we have to mark this particular arc here. Then draw this vertical line and mark that much of length, that is 50 into 0.81649. Then from this point you draw one arc, and from this point you draw another arc. So these two arcs will intersect, and thus we can draw this line and this line. So you will see that the circle has to be now drawn in this particular square. So to do so, from this point we will mark the midpoint of this vertical line here. So you join the midpoint of the vertical line to this corner here, and the midpoint of this vertical line, that is this point, to this corner. And similarly, the midpoint of this line, that is this point, to this corner, and the midpoint of this line to this corner. Then you can take this as the center, this point as the center, and this much as the radius, and then you can draw this arc. Then you can take this as the center and this much as the radius, and you can draw this particular arc. And then this has to be considered the center as the center, and this much should be the radius, and this arc can be drawn. Similarly, this will be the center and this much will be the radius from this point to this point, and we can draw this arc. So we will obtain the isometric projection of the circle. So once you do this much, you take 60 millimeters and convert that into isometric length, and you mark one line. Okay, from this point you mark one line, and from this point you mark another arc. Here also you mark the arc, and from this point you can mark one arc here, and from this point you can mark another arc. And the length of each of these lines will be 60 multiplied by 0.81649. And all of these lines, you can see this line, this line, this line, and this line, they will be parallel to this line here, which we have initially drawn. That is, all of these lines are at 30 degrees with respect to the horizontal. So this is how we have to draw this particular box, and mark arcs on that and join these lines so that we get the other face of the imaginary box in which this cylinder is imagined to be enclosed. Then once we get this again, you have to take the midpoint of this and join it to this corner, midpoint of this and join it to this corner, and the midpoint of this particular line and join it to this corner, and this line should be, the midpoint of this line should be joined to the corner here. And repeat the same procedure, that is from here to here we have to take the radius and we should draw an arc. From here to here take the radius and draw an arc. Yes, that is from here to here, from here to here you take as the radius and draw this particular arc, and from here to here you take as the radius and draw this particular arc. Then this will be the center and this much will be the radius, and you draw this particular arc. Then this will be the center and this much will be the radius, and draw this particular arc. So the procedure will be same on this face also and on this face also. And you join this. Next you have to join the line tangentially. So you have to draw one line such that it is tangent to this arc here and also to this arc here, and the same is the case in this line also. You have to draw one line such that it is tangential like this, and we have to darken whatever is visible. So this is the solution. This is how the solution has to be obtained. Now we will see how to do this in the software. I will insert a new sheet. I will right click on this sheet here. I will insert a new sheet, and I will draw one line, and from the center point I will draw one more line. The length of this line actually should be 50 multiplied by 0.81649, but as we have practiced, we will draw the isometric view and then convert all of this at once. So this length that I am going to draw right now will be 50 millimeters, because that is the dimension of this 50 millimeters. That is nothing but this particular length. Okay? This particular length, which is this length. So we have to draw it 50 millimeters, and the angle should be 30 degrees. So length is 50, angle is 30 degrees. So this is the required line, and we have to draw one more line vertical to this. Length is 50 and angle is 90 degrees in this case. Please note this angle is 90 degrees. So this angle, it is at 90 degrees with respect to the horizontal. So let me zoom in. So this line is at 30 degrees and this line is at 90 degrees. We will first show the angle here, and this will be 90 degrees. You can see here it is 90 degrees. Next I will take this line, I will go to copy command, and I will put on this copy command, and I will move it from this point to this point. I will repeat the same for this line also. I will move it from this point with copy on to this point. So we will get this particular face. We will come out of the lines. Next I will join the midpoint of this to the corner here, and the same I will do on this side, the midpoint of this particular edge. Similarly, I will take the midpoint of this and I will join it to the corner here, and I will join it to the midpoint of this. Now all of this will be very light, so we will make it very light. We will select all of this, unselect the angle, and this, let it be 0.18. Now we have to draw the arc. To draw the arc, I will select arc by center point. Select this point as the center and this as the radius. Click on this. You can see that I am using inference, so we have the symbol. So I'll click here. I'm getting a complete circle in this case. I will try this point here, from this point to this point. Yes, this is working. Again, from this as the center and this as the radius, we will draw one more arc, this one. Then let this be the third center and this be the radius. I will draw one more arc. and let this be the fourth center and this be the radius, and I will draw one more arc here. I will try the other way. This is the center, this is the radius, and this is the circle that we wanted. Next, I will just join these two lines from here to here. One line is sufficient to get the center. Next step is to construct the square box in which this is enclosed. For that, I will draw one line whose length is 60 millimeters and whose angle is 150 degrees. So this angle is 150 degrees. It means that this angle is 30 degrees. So from this to this angle is 150, and this is that is why this has to be 30 degrees. So we have drawn one line of 60 millimeters at an angle of 30 degrees with respect to this line. Next, I will select the move command, switch on copy, and I will move all of these here. If we are doing the manual drawing, we have to actually redo the steps. All of these steps have to be repeated on this particular surface that you will be getting. But since we are using the software, it will be very easy for us to merely move whatever we have done from this point to this point, to this particular point. Okay. Next, let us draw the axis of this. So I have selected a line and I will select the chain line. And from midpoint of this to midpoint of this particular line, I can draw the axis. I will just cut this line. We have drawn the axis. Now I have to draw one line tangential to this. So I will select one line here, and I will, you see I am getting a tangential symbol here. I am getting a tangential symbol. So if I turn off this, the symbol will remain. Yeah, this tangential symbol here. I want a continuous line in this case. And the thickness of the line should be 0.5. One more way of drawing is you just draw one line sufficiently long enough like this. So sufficiently long enough like this, and then make use of these relation constraints. In this case, I'm going to use tangent. So I want this line to be tangent to this circle. It is a little tricky to use it the first time. So you activate this command, and this has to be tangential to this, and then this has to be tangential to this. So you will see that it becomes tangential, but in this case you have to additionally trim here and trim this particular line. And then you can go back and change the type of the line and the thickness of the line. So this is the complete solution of this particular problem. So we will select this and we will make it continuous. So this is how it has to be represented. It is placed such that the axis is perpendicular to the vertical plane. So it is in this particular orientation, we have seen that the construction remains same. That is, you have to take the midpoint of these edges and you have to join it to the corner as shown here. In this, before you complete the solution, previously I forgot to mention it, we have to scale this. So we forgot to scale it. So we will scale it now. That is, you have to select all of this and you have to go to the scale command here and multiply it by a factor 0.81649. And this is the isometric projection that is required. So this is what we have to do. And additionally, this part, which is this arc starting from here to here, that will be made light because that will not be visible. So in order to make that light, we have to split this particular arc. So to split this arc, we will use the split command. So select the split command here and select this arc and choose one point, like for example the end point of this line. So you choose the end point of this line, and then similarly do it on this side also. Select this arc, the arc which you want to trim, and one point where you want the arc to be trimmed. Okay. So that is, now you select this arc and this arc, and you can make all of this light like this. Now this is the complete solution. This has to be scaled to get the isometric projection, and these arcs have to be selected and they have to be represented by thin lines. So now this is the complete solution. Thank you.